Hey, Broncos country, you there on the Denver couch with a Coors beer in hand and heart beating strong for Mile High? Stop everything now. You probably think the Denver Broncos are going to flounder again this week 2 of the NFL 2025 season. Like those dark years post-Elway, where we'd travel to Indianapolis and come back with our tails between our legs. But what if I told you that, with these 5 brutal keys, Bo Nix and the crew are going to annihilate the Colts like an avalanche rolling downhill in the Rockies? Today I'm going to reveal exactly how to avoid the Week 1 mistakes versus Titans, where the run game choked in the first half, and dominate this game. Straight from the behind-the-scenes stuff nobody at ESPN is talking about. I'm just a guy from Broncos Nation who's followed every snap since the days of John Elway, throwing bombs to Rod Smith. I've seen over 30 seasons of this roller coaster, and what I'm going to show you here is no BS. Strategies that'll make the Colts beg for mercy. Pay attention, because the third key involves a Sean Payton secret that goes against everything you've heard about the offensive playbook, and could completely change how we see Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix's debut evolving in this 2025 season. Stay with me, it'll be worth every second. Man, let's be real here. Denver street style. Being a Denver Broncos fan is like dating a rusty roller coaster in the Rocky Mountains. One day you're on top screaming Super Bowl or bust, like the 90s with Elway piloting that aerial attack that made the Raiders tremble. And the next, you're rock bottom, reliving the frustrations of 2019 to 2022, when quarterbacks turned to mush and the defense, our Broncos Nation pride, couldn't handle the heat. Remember that loss to the Colts in 2023? We were hyped about the Russell Wilson rebound, but it ended 31-13 with the run game invisible and the pocket exploding like 4th of July fireworks. That hurt, especially for 64-plus fans like my Uncle Joe, who saw the Orange Crush of the 70s dominating, and now sees Denver Broncos news full of injury report updates and quarterback controversy. Now, in the 2025 season, we started strong in Week 1 versus Titans. Bo Nix with that solid debut, 18-25, 200 yards and a TD, plus Vance Joseph's defense-forcing turnovers like Christmas came early. But the real pains still sting. The offensive line depth chart is thin as a trail in Rocky Mountain National Park, and without a consistent run game, the Colts are going to laugh in our faces. According to Denver Sports 104.3 insiders, Sean Payton is furious with the Week 1 stats, where we only ran for 78 yards in the first half. ESPN analysts said that if we don't adjust, the Denver Broncos' playoff chances 2025 will evaporate like snow in June. It's pure frustration, insecurity about seeing unfulfilled expectations again, like, is Bo Nix going to become the next franchise QB? Or is it just rookie QB performance 2025 hype? But hey, there's hope. This victory over the Colts could be the turning point, proving that Broncos country is back on the map. Let's dive into the keys that'll make this reality, with hype that'll have you jumping off your couch. This is where the magic happens, Broncos Nation. I'm not one of those polished TV analysts. I'm the guy who discusses Denver Broncos analysis at the neighborhood bar, drinking while we dissect the Denver Broncos schedule. Based on what I saw in the 2025 Week 1 highlight reel and fresh free agency rumors, here are the 5 brutal keys to demolish the Indianapolis Colts in this Week 2 game predictions. I'll mix facts, opinions, and a touch of humor, because, let's admit it, watching the Colts stumble is better than a barbecue at Mile High Stadium experience tailgate. In Week 1, the Denver Broncos offense was like a tuned car that forgets to hit the gas. Only 7 carries in the first half, with Bo Nix forcing passes that almost became interceptions. Sean Payton, the playbook wizard, called too many runs in the second half just to protect the rookie, but that's too late, like arriving at John Elway's show and sitting in the back row. To annihilate the Colts, start with the inside zone scheme in pistol formation, swipe draws, and lead blocks that'll warm up the offensive line like strong coffee on a Denver winter morning. Imagine Javonte Williams or Jaleel McLaughlin running downhill, forcing double teams on guards and opening the field for top wide receivers 2025, like Cortland Sutton extension on deep routes. The Dolphins in the Colts Week 1 barely ran for 78 yards. If we hit this rock early, their defense will tire like a tourist climbing Pikes Peak. According to Advanced Stats Breakdown on YouTube exclusive videos, this doubles the success of Denver Broncos' offensive playbook secrets. Without this, goodbye positive Denver Broncos results in this rivalry history. It's not Colts. But close enough for early season momentum. Jonathan Taylor is the Colts guy, like their Derrick Henry, but without the Southern accent. Last Sunday, he totaled 98 yards on 21 touches. Solid, but against the mediocre Dolphins defense. For us, with the beast of Denver Broncos defense analysis Week 1, where we limited Tony Pollard to 3.3 yards per carry, eliminating him is like cutting off the oxygen supply to opponents at mile-high altitude. Vance Joseph will blitz with Nick Bonito contract extension in mind. That pass rusher is flying, and with the front seven will force Taylor outside the gaps like a cowpoke at the Denver Rodeo. This takes away half the Colts' attack, forcing their QB, whoever that is, with rumors of Daniel Jones or backup, to carry everything. ESPN analysts in Broncos vs. Colts Preview 2025 say that if we contain Taylor below 70 yards, our Denver Broncos playoff chances 2025 shoot to 60%. Humor aside, imagine Taylor slipping on the Indianapolis turf like a skater on Union Station ice, priceless for Broncos fan reaction's latest game. Here comes the cliffhanger I promised. What if I told you that Sean Payton has a coaching staff news twist that involves more blitzes than ever? In Week 1, the Dolphins gave their QB a clean pocket, only one hit. Compare that to our 12 pressures and 6 sacks on the Titans. It's night and day. The Colts' offensive line is solid, with Quentin Nelson anchoring, but against our Denver Broncos Defense Strategy 2025, they're going to crack like a nutshell in the hands of Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper. Time to dial up the pressure. Hybrid fronts with stunts that make the QB look over his shoulder constantly, reducing throws to under 200 yards. According to Denver Broncos behind-the-scenes, locker room leaks in player interviews exclusive, Payton is obsessed with sacks, and this will turn the Colts' ground game to dust. Without time for the QB to read, goodbye balanced Denver Broncos versus Colts analysis. It's going to be a massacre. But wait, if this happens, what happens to protected Bo Nix? Stay tuned, because the next key is the bombshell for our rookie. Hey, if you're feeling the hype rising like barbecue smoke at tailgate, do this. Subscribe to the channel now for more Denver Broncos TikTok highlights and exclusive Instagram reels. And tell me in the comments, which key do you think will be the most brutal for the Colts? Broncos Nation, let's make this go viral. Speaking of our kid, Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix's debut in Week 1 was promising. Mobile, accurate, but with 4 pressures that almost became sacks. To annihilate, we need a pocket like the Elway era's. Offensive line in sync, with the depth chart adjusted to block Colts edge rushers. Sean Payton will call quick release plays, but the secret is chip blocks for the tackles, like Garrett Balls sending a safety to the ground. This frees up time for Nix to connect with Marvin Mims Jr. on Denver Broncos' best touchdown plays, opening the field. Trade predictions. Rumors say we might have reinforcements, but for now, focus on protection. Without it, Rookie QB Performance 2025 becomes interception statistics. Nostalgia mode. Remember when Elway escaped sacks like a ghost in Denver snows? Nix has that in his DNA, but with a solid wall, he becomes legend. Analysts on Denver Broncos social media trends note that fan merchandise trends of Nix jerseys are exploding. Protect him. And Broncos Nation explodes with joy. The 5th key is the sleeper hit, special teams that flip games, plus a defense hunting turnovers like wolves on the plains. In Week 1, our punts pinned the Titans deep, and with Will Lutz kicking 50-yard field goals, this could be the difference for his Colts. Force fumbles on Jonathan Taylor, intercept hurried passes. Our Denver Broncos defense is tops in takeaways. Payton, with his offensive playbook secrets genius, will mix in fake punts to surprise, like a magic trick at the halftime show. According to Denver Broncos Viral Moments 2025 on YouTube, a blocked punt in Week 1 was key. Repeat that, and the Colts crumble. For older fans, this echoes the days of Terrell Davis returning kickoffs for titles, details that separate contenders from pretenders in Denver, Broncos' Super Bowl dreams. These keys aren't just theory. They're the blueprint for a victory that sends a message to the entire AFC West, including Chiefs and Chargers. With Bo Nix evolving, defense roaring, and run game awakening, the Denver Broncos' 2025 season is ready to take off. Now, breathing deep like after a hike at Garden of the Gods, let's reflect. Beating the Colts in this week 2 isn't just 2 points on the Denver Broncos schedule. It's redemption for accumulated frustrations, from losses to the Raiders in the 2000s to recent rebuild insecurities. Imagine Mile High exploding in remote celebration, with Broncos country posting fan reactions. Latest game on TikTok, Nix destroyed them. For the 64-plus, it's like reliving the Orange Crush stopping the Steelers in '77, but with a modern twist. Quarterback controversy resolved, and draft picks impact 2025 shining. According to Power Rankings Roundup, we're the largest 12 in the league. A win here throws us into the top 8, boosting Denver Broncos win total over-under odds to 10-plus victories. But suspense. What if the Colts surprise with a last-minute trade? Insiders whisper about quarterback moves that could mess everything up. My prediction, Broncos 27-17, with Nix 250 yards, 2 TDs, and defense with 3 sacks. This paves the way to playoffs, maybe even a wild card run that makes us dream about Super Bowl in February. Pure emotion, humor included, Colts will leave whimpering while we toast with a "Go Broncos" echoing through Denver streets. If this hyped you up, subscribe now so you don't miss the weekly Denver Broncos highlights and analysis. And comment, do you think Bo Nix becomes a Rookie of the Year candidate? Share with a Broncos Nation brother. Let's spread the hype. Mile High awaits, and this season is ours. Go Broncos!